A lot of people today are being diagnosed with ADD and ADHD as adults. What is the trigger that needs to take people to a doctor to understand whether they have these conditions in adulthood?
Yeah. One of the things is a self-perception of inefficiency. I am struggling at work for some reason is very often the thing. And of course, mental health itself could give you that perception. So it need not be attention deficit disorder at all. But for many others, it's much more latent it is. So I've had a lawyer tell me I can't listen to what the other guy in court is saying. I'm not able to comprehend it. I'm not able to process it. So I'm just standing there looking blank and I have no response. And that's what brought him to me. I have super smart guys working in the corporate world saying, but I'm inefficient in this way. I'm not able to come to meetings on time. I'm not able to prepare for meetings adequately. I'm not able to synthesize information in the way that I should, and so on. And clearly it's not my lack of intelligence. It's got to do with my not being able to focus. So people have different reasons why. And I think a lot of them today, at least the ones I come across, it's coming from the workplace, because our workplaces today are quite demanding. And I think the pandemics amplified it because, in the past or pre-pandemic, you went to work. And the work environment in its own way supported you. So a colleague would say, hey, boss, aren't you supposed to turn this in now? Or don't we have that meeting in half an hour? And when you're sitting at home and working alone, you don't have any of those environmental cues. And the lack of environmental cues mean you goof up a lot more. And you become more aware of your goof up. And I think the loneliness also amplifies those feelings. So I think it's a combination of all those factors. A lot of people with attention deficit are very distractible, so they thrive on environmental stimulation. And then that completely went absent for a couple of years, especially if you worked, work from home type of occupation.
Right.
So I think that all that has also contributed greatly, as has public awareness. I think,
If people are coming to you,
yes,
it's almost preventive, isn't it?
in many ways. And I think there's another thing. I'm very proud of the young person today, because they have no hesitation in walking in and saying, Doc, I've got a mental health problem, which was not the case then 15, 20 years ago. I mean, when I started practice, I don't think people would frankly come and tell me, look, I've been struggling.
Yeah.
It was always sort of all kinds of things, and then finally you would figure out what is going on,
Yeah. And do you get, what is your percentage of men to women? Are men also coming in a lot more?
Oh yes, a lot of the young people who come in are men. So I think acknowledgement today from the younger generation, I don't see many differences in their ability to either volunteer to ask for help or come and talk about it. But of course, I think still with the our generation, I think it's still very much more.
That's right.
It's probably more often the woman than the man who comes voluntarily.
Yeah.
The man has to be kind of brought in with a lot of persuasion. Yes.
Yeah. So that idea of masculinity is changing, therefore.
Oh yes, very much so.
Right.